I mean, first of all, it sort of feels like watching you on the pitch, you've settled in pretty quickly here at Lincoln.
Yeah, I think that's fair to say. I think the question got asked to me in pre-season after maybe 3 or 4 weeks of being here. I think we played Leicester away in a Leicester 21 and I think that question got asked to me and I felt settled then. So yeah, certainly after a few more games I feel even more settled. More time with the lads, more games, more training sessions. There's new bodies coming in and yeah, I feel good and I feel like personally I'm in a good place and I think that mirrors sort of the position that the squad are in as well. I think as a group we are also in a really good place.
Do you think that comes from experience for you, or is it down also perhaps to the way the football club is?
Probably a bit of both. I think before the football club brought me in, they recognised that I did have that experience. I'd like to think that I'd get a good character reference, from the people I've worked with previously. So, getting settled quickly was never going to be a massive problem for me. And of course, it helps that I've worked my way into the team and I'm playing football. And yeah, I just want that to continue.
Talking to you now and listening to how you talk about playing here at Lincoln City, it feels like you're maybe two sort of a Jekyll and a Hyde, or sort of two different personalities off the pitch and on the pitch. It feels like you're quite mild-mannered when I talk to you now, but seeing you on the pitch, it seems a very different personality.
Yeah, that's a fair assessment, and I don't mind that at all. People talk about pitch personality. I've got to sort of play to my strengths. I would like to think that I'm aggressive, good in both boxes. And I've got the experience to sort of lead people around me. I still think I do that off the pitch as well, but like you say, it might just be the volume turned down a little bit at times. Yeah. But yeah, I think that's a fair assessment. That's probably who I am. And yeah, I play to my strengths, but it works for me both ways.
And seeing your celebrations at full time at Northampton, it feels like defending is something you relish and enjoy, and getting that clean sheet at the end of the game.
Yeah, of course, and that's ultimately my job, to help the team get clean sheets. I would like to chip in with a few goals as the season goes on. I'm sure I will do. I don't want you to sort of clip that at the end of the season if I haven't scored at all. But yeah, first and foremost, it's about not conceding chances, not conceding goals, and any game in League One, especially when you're away from home at the likes of Northampton. You're going to get tested and it's going to be a difficult game. So to come through that with a clean sheet, I think you'll have seen me and the rest of the defenders we were delighted, and it gives us a platform to build on moving into a difficult game on Saturday.
From when you first came into football, do you think it's changed in terms of how players look after themselves? I think of yourself, obviously James Collins, Tendai, Jericho. I can think of other players at the football clubs that I cover, players who are in their 30s who maybe 10, 15 years ago wouldn't be performing at the levels that you guys are now.
Potentially, yeah, potentially. I still think, from being a young lad, there still was, really good, examples for me. The likes of, as I was coming through at Hull, the likes of, Ian Ashby, Nick Barmby, them sort of characters who were they won't mind me saying, towards the end of their career, but they were still brilliant professionals, still always fit, always available, always training well, and I remember things like that. And the game has evolved, the game has moved forward. People have got to be fitter, more technical, and I'm well aware that if you drop below the fitness level that's required, then you're not going to play ultimately. So yeah, I look after my body, like you said, same with James and Tendai as well. We look after our bodies, look after our minds, and we're setting the example now for the younger lads in the dressing room. So on a day-to-day basis, it's massively important that we do that.
It's interesting you say about setting an example, and also interesting that you can remember, obviously Nicky Barmby had a great career himself, but you can remember those sorts of players. So you clearly feel that helping the younger players coming in is part of your job.
It is, yeah. I think, like you say, like when I was a younger lad, you always look up to the older pros and look to see what they're doing. Me and Ten had a conversation last week about standards in training. No matter how tired you are, we're playing Saturday, Tuesday at the minute, but no matter what it is, even if you're outside for half an hour, 45 minutes on a Monday before a game on a Tuesday, even if you're tired, it's important to always do the right things, because I feel like the younger players in the team are always looking at you, always interested to see what you're doing. And if you're setting the standard, there's no excuse for anyone else. And That's what leaders do. You know, the likes of Ten, the likes of Collar, myself. I've done it throughout my whole career, and I'll be continuing to do it.
Yeah, watching and listening to football, it seems like in this day and age, people are obsessed by the word possession and how much possession you have. And clearly, if you look through, what Lincoln City do, Lincoln City are a team that are more than happy to have 30, 35, 40% possession. And I always say it's about what you do with the ball, and clearly that's something that Lincoln are carrying out at the moment.
Yeah, I think it's nice to have a lot of possession and control the game that way. I think, with the likes of Chris in the building and Tom, brilliant coaches, and I know what Chris is like, and I think he would like us to dominate more games in possession, being in control. You can be, of course, in control of a game out of possession as well, that's fine, but if you can dominate with the ball, it does help a lot. But look, I think we've proven that we are comfortable, off the ball as well. Doing our defensive duties is something so far this season we've done extremely well. I think obviously it was difficult away at Wimbledon with what happened with Jacko, but even then, we've defended well at times, and that has to be there. We have to continue doing that. That gives us the platform to go up the top end of the pitch and do our stuff. If we was 30, like you say, if we was 35% possession each game and we was conceding a lot of chances and losing games, then I think it would be a bit of a problem. But because we're doing that and also having good play at the top of the pitch, it actually works. It works really well, and ultimately in football, it's about getting results. It's about getting as many wins as possible, and it's about finding a way to do that. And Saturday, I'm not sure yet what it's going to look like, but it might be one of them games. Away from home against a good opponent. At times, we might just have to sit in, ride the wave, and wait for our time to attack and create chances as well. But if that is the case and we have to concede a bit of possession, we don't have a problem with that.
And just finally on Bolton, a team that I think at the start of the season with the spending, also we know they've taken Ethan Aran from this club, a team that most people would think would be certainly competing for the playoffs at the very least.
Yeah, you would say that. Watched them last night. Really good team in possession. You look through their squad and they've got some brilliant players as well, and it's always a difficult place to go. Throughout my career when I've played there, you're in for a tough game. Very good manager, and again, good coaching staff, and they'll have their own solutions to beat us. But on the flip side of it, we go into every game looking to win. So we'll have our own tactics, our own plan, and we head there looking to back up Tuesday and get another 3 points.